Welcome to freecontractadvice.com. So can you set a minimum resale price for your products? So you're selling through a sales channel, you provide your products to your reseller and they sell it out to the market. And you don't want your reseller undercutting your list price. Particularly, you don't want your reseller giving it away for free, because sometimes they can do that if they're reselling perhaps your products with some other party's products and maybe some of their own. They might offer your product as a loss leader to pull through sales of other things where they make a bit more margin. So is there anything you can do to stop it? Well, the truth is, within the European Union, no, there isn't, because setting a minimum retail price for your product or resale price for your product is considered by the EC Competition Commission as price fixing. So effectively what you're doing is preventing free competition in the marketplace. If you're reselling your goods through a third party, provided they pay you the price that you've agreed between you and them, they can sell them on for however much they like, or they can even give them away, because effectively by buying the goods from you, they've assumed title and they can sell them on at whatever price they like. So if you're using a reseller network to sell your products, you cannot set a minimum resale value. You can, however, if you want to, set a maximum resale value. So if you wanted to make sure that your products were available to the market only at a really competitive price, you can set a ceiling. So you're not allowed to set a floor, but you are allowed to set a ceiling. And that can be good because it can mean that your products don't get overpriced. It can mean that your resellers don't make too much margin on them, so you are able to limit the amount of margin they make reselling your products or your services. But that bit of the law doesn't necessarily work in the way that a lot of people understand it to work, because of the impact of EC competition law, which these days tends to get itself embedded into all sorts of areas of our business that we might not necessarily have anticipated. So if you did want to prevent a reseller from giving away your product or selling at a knockdown bargain price, how can you do it? Well, there is one option open to you, and it changes the nature of that relationship. So rather than them being a reseller, they would become a sales agent for you. So that means that rather than buying stuff from you and selling it on to the end customer, they're actually introducing you to the end customer. They might be doing all the selling, but they never own the goods in the middle. They're setting up the sale and the customer is buying directly from you. So this is a very different kind of relationship, and if you have a sales agent, you can control pretty much everything that they do in selling your products. You can control what they say about them, how they sell them, the terms and conditions on which they offer them for sale, and the price at which they offer them for sale, because your agent is only acting with your authority. They can only do what you've authorized them to do, and the contract is directly between you and the end customer. So if having a minimum price for your products out there in the market is really important to you, the reseller approach isn't the right one to take. A sales agent could well be the right one for you. There are all sorts of issues associated with having sales agents. There's another chunk of legislation called the Commercial Agents Regulations that applies all the way across Europe. So there'll be other videos that go into the sales agents regs in a bit more detail and let you learn a bit more about some of the opportunities and the pitfalls of appointing sales agents. But certainly when you are selling your products through a third party, you do need to be very aware of the legislative framework within the EU to make sure that you don't find yourself falling foul of either competition law or sales regs or agency regulations or whatever. We'll try and cover as many of those topics as we can in our videos, so make sure you've subscribed to freecontractadvice.com, and that makes sure that you'll get notified as we upload new vids on different topics over time. Hope that's been useful and look forward to seeing you again soon.